Okay, oh, ich muss mich anders hinsetzen. Oh, diese Prozesse dauern immer ewig. Ich glaube, ich werde die Prozesse in diesem Part jetzt noch quetschen, egal wie lange er wird. Weil ich glaube, wir sind relativ am Ende. Byakuya sagte, dass Celestes Kommentar keinen Sinn ergibt. Ja, von wegen, sie sind beide tot oder irgendwie sowas hat sie gemeint. Monokuma-File 3. Ja, beide sind ähnlich gestorben. Irgendwie so war das. Okay, Ass. Moment, wir werden alle. Das geht doch gar nicht. Ey, schieß! Ah, alles falsch gemacht hier. You must really be. Oder es sei denn... Boah! Ich depp. Okay, jetzt lass ich mal. Uns? Wir alle? Diese Kerle? Ah, Moment. Heißt das, ich muss zuerst seine Nachricht kopieren? Nee, das nicht. Und wir alle? Diese Kerle? Okay, nehmen wir das. Also wie sie gestorben sind. Ah. Okay, das heißt, ich muss wirklich deinen Kommentar übernehmen. Und dann auf Those Guys schießen, oder wie? They must really be. So, nehmen wir das. Und feuern jetzt auf Those Guys. They must really be. Nein. Ja. Boom.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Andere Erklärungen? Wenn das kein Bild ist, wie das Objekt Hifumi hinwegschleppt. Tanzen, genau. Drinking, nee, das da.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away?
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Ich habe leider Chelestes letztes Wort jetzt weggemacht. Celeste thinks she can prove. Sie glaubt also, sie kann es beweisen. Okay. Aber ist es wirklich möglich? Schauen wir mal. Robot Justice Kostüm. Blueprints. Okay. Ich glaube, das wird wieder schwierig.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out!
Ich muss mal überlegen.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright.
Nee, oder?
If the person inside
Shoot!
Ich glaube, ich werde jetzt wieder verlieren.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright.
Ja, ich verliere tatsächlich Sekunden. Jetzt konnte ich mal darauf gucken. Ja. Ja, ich verliere. Oh nein! Oh, also ich dachte, es gibt noch eine Runde, aber war ja irgendwie klar. Ja, oh nein, keiner glaubt mir. Oh, ich bin schlecht. Oh, ich werde verurteilt. Aber nee, ich darf nicht aufgeben. Ich werde eben auf die Grunde gehen und den Part überziehen, volle Kanne. Aber es ist mir auch egal jetzt. Das wird ewig dauern zum Safen. Sehe ich jetzt schon. Okay, ich glaube, es hat nichts mit den Nachrichten zu tun, die wir... Also nichts mit den Bullets, die wir haben. Wahrscheinlich muss ich die Nachrichten gegeneinander ausspielen. Okay, lass mich mal gucken, wer was sagt.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious,
Nicht jetzt, hau ab.
stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot
Toll.
is the culprit after all.
Eine Megafliege hat sich jetzt auf den Monitor gesetzt und jetzt musste ich mich darum kümmern. Danke, Megafliege. Okay, nochmal das Ganze.
Then you just treat me if you tried to make me look like
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious,
Nee.
there's no way they could
Was? Ah!
then the fortune-telling idiot.
Scheiße.
No way.
Weil ich glaube nämlich durch die Baupläne,
Dress me up in that. Then you just treat me if you tried to
von
make me
wegen,
look like
ja, kann man nicht aufstehen.
see in the picture. If the person inside, there's no way.
Ah. Stand up straight. Aber man kann doch nicht aufrecht stehen.
Me up in that suit after I passed out.
Then you just
Drape me across Hifumi and had you tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Carry my weight, glaube ich nicht.
Like I said, ridiculous as you can see.
Ridiculous.
The suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside conscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Oh, ich weiß gerade nicht, wie es funktioniert. Vielleicht muss ich es doch schneiden. Oh, und ich muss mich jedes Mal anders hinsetzen, weil mir die Füße einschlafen.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just drape me across Hifumi and
Oh.
had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Let him carry my weight.
Like I said, ridiculous.
Vielleicht ist es das.
As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was a
Ich glaube, ich versuche jetzt einfach alles. Weil ich habe keine Ahnung, was hier jetzt genau gemeint wird.
You dressed me up in that suit after I. Then you just drape me across.
Vielleicht muss ich einfach da jetzt zerstören? Nee. Hm.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just drape.
Ich versuche es jetzt einfach auf gut Glück immer wieder. Weil wie gesagt, ich weiß gerade nicht, was hier von mir verlangt wird. Ja, ja, bla 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 bla. Halt die Fresse. Muss ich wohl einen Schnitt machen, hatte ich eigentlich nicht vor, aber...
I refuse to give up yet.
Vielleicht sollte ich nochmal gucken, welche Antwortmöglichkeiten es hier gibt in diesem Dialog. Okay, Schnelldurchlauf.
Then you just drape me. You tried to make me look like.
like I said, as you can see in the picture. If the person inside, there's no way they could.
Then the fortune-telling. No way.
Wenn ich mich richtig erinnere, Hina hat gesagt... She said... super, Moment.
Then you just drape me if you tried to make me look like.
Like I said,
Muss ich jetzt nochmal...
in the picture. If the person inside,
Weil Hina passt nicht mal rein in den Anzug.
No way.
She said that... Bend at the waist. Hüfte? Nee. Handgelenk? Bend at the waist. Ich gucke jetzt trotzdem... Ich gucke jetzt mal nach, was das genau heißt. Waist heißt, glaube ich, Hüfte. Ja, Taille beugen. In der Taille beugen heißt das.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just drape me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight.
Die Frage ist nur, was wird hier von mir verlangt?
like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person
Inside.
conscious, there's no way they could stand up like that.
Das habe ich, glaube ich, schon mal probiert. Aber ich weiß gerade nicht, was hier von mir verlangt wird. Das nervt mich.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just dragged me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person...
Okay, mir bleibt jetzt nichts anderes übrig. Ich muss jetzt einfach alles, jede Nachricht abballern, die ich habe. Okay, Blue Sprints.
You tried to make me look like I said, as you can see in the picture.
If the person inside the suit...
Ja. Wie gesagt, ich mach's jetzt auf die dumme Art und Weise, weil mir gerade nichts anderes einfällt. Okay, Blue Sprints war es nicht. Kostüm.
Then you just dragged me. You tried to make me look like I said, as you can see in the picture. If the person
Das Problem ist, ich habe hier 3 Millionen Möglichkeiten.
dressed me up in that suit after. Then you just dragged me. You tried to make me look like I said.
As you can see in the picture, if the person inside the suit, there's no way.
So, geht doch. Kostüm kann man nicht aufstehen. Hatte ich doch zuvor schon. Warum hat es nicht funktioniert?
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Ach so, ich habe es genau andersherum gedacht. Stimmt. Weil dieser Anzug ist so steif, dass man da sich nicht bücken kann. Das heißt, selbst eine bewusstlose Person kann stehen. Ich habe doch gesagt, man kann sich nicht bücken. Stimmt ja, eine bewusstlose Person sackt ja zusammen. Mann, bin ich doof.
That Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
That's right. They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Ich glaube, sie dreht durch. Sie dreht sowas von durch, sonst würde sie gerade nicht auf dem Kopf stehen. Ich stelle mich schon mal auf ein ekelhaftes Bild von ihr gleich ein. Ach du Scheiße. So ein Bild habe ich nicht erwartet. Holy shit.
Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hatakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Okay, seems a lot. He said people's last names. Er hat jeden Spitznamen gegeben, er hat jeden beim Nachnamen genannt. Oh, was war denn das jetzt nochmal? Er hat eine Menge gesagt. Nee, wie hat er uns denn angesprochen? Ich habe zu wenig mit ihm geredet. Ich glaube, er hat alle mit Nachnamen angesprochen. Zumindest glaube ich, dass er das bei Aoi mal gemacht hat.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Havoc.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Oh Mann, ich habe Angst vor ihr, wenn sie so guckt.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste gibt immer noch nicht auf, also... Wir müssen etwas machen, damit sie es akzeptiert. Ja, ich glaube, ich muss den Part durchsplitten, weil der geht es schon eine ganze Weile. E-Handbuch, Hammer, Yasuhiros Nachricht. Ich glaube, das E-Handbuch ist da... Schauen wir mal. Schauen wir erst mal.
Trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
Okay.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
Hä? Auf Kopf? Unfair!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
Oh, 2 Sekunden, gut.
Pretending, it's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Vielleicht? Ja!
No, it's wrong. That's it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before. So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Ah, stimmt, dieses Buch ist ja auch noch. Oh Gott. Ja, das dauert ohne Ende. What the? Warum das? Schauen wir mal. Oh wow, das dauert ewig. Scheiße. Gut, ich werde den Part zercutten. Definitiv, okay. Mit Celeste. Okay, Hiro kam rein. Wow, ich glaube, das wird schwer. Das wird schwer. Okay, versuchen wir es von hinten nach vorne. Pff, genau. niedergeschlagen. Das Poster ist garantiert falsch. Das war nämlich von Chihiros Mord. Ne, da hat er geschoben. Eingepackt, zerrissen. Achso, da ist er schon eingepackt. Okay, dann kommt das hier. Hier hin. Der Viererhammer. Da sieht man es. Achso. Gut, das ist der. Die beiden zur selben Zeit entdeckt. Das ist nicht einfach. Yasuhiro kommt rein. Das ist aber nicht das, oder? Genau, um 1 Uhr sollte er treffen. Glaube ich. Dann wurde er da reingepackt. Dann wurde das Foto geschossen, genau. Vier. Okay, das heißt, im Moment, da wird erst ausgeholt. Er realisiert es, wird niedergeschlagen. Keine Ahnung, was mit dem Rucksack zu tun hat. Ich mach's mal. Schauen wir mal. Genau, Foto wird gezeigt. Genau, Bücherei. Moment, wurde er da nicht schon angegriffen? Das ist, um ehrlich zu sein, nicht einfach. So, hier dieses Bilderrätsel. So, der Hammer liegt daneben. Damit alle glauben, er ist tot. So, schiebt ihn hin, packt ihn aus. Ja, genau. Wird niedergeschlagen. Hammer ist immer noch blutig. Oder nee. Vielleicht nicht deswegen, sondern vielleicht ist es die Uhr. Oder hier muss die Uhr rein, das kann auch sein. Da fehlt noch was. Versuchen wir es damit. Fehlt nur mehr das hier. Aber was kommt da rein? Das ist schwer. Okay, ist nichts mehr. Auf jeden Fall nicht die Chips, da bin ich mir eigentlich sicher. Aber ich weiß nicht, was hier reinkommt. Mach mal einen Rucksack. Versuchen wir's.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that.
Ja, dachte ich mir schon. Oh nein, ich habe nur mehr ein Leben. Dann muss ich den ganzen Scheiß nochmal machen. Okay, wurde quasi angegriffen. Justice haben wir 2. Eventuell. Dann Blut. Dann weggetragen. Ja, ich glaube, das ist die Reihenfolge. Ich glaube, jetzt stimmt's.
So, for these attacks, the first vacant there, they wanted to make sure the second vacants this time with these 2 incidents that the suspect was increased. We fell right in.
Ja, ja.
While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?